Hey, Budgie!
Hey, Sufi!
Congratulations, Pashi.
Oh,
I have
thanks.
watched your Northwestern convocation. It was fantastic, and I believe it was a very special weekend that I was not there for, so please tell me, how was it?
It was great. It was, real quick, sort of sad note. We lost a dog. Our dog, Debbie, passed away right before we went on this trip. And
Rest in peace, Debbie.
Yeah.
15 years old?
15 and a half. We found her on the street. We loved her so much. She was just a great dog.
How old was she when you discovered Debbie?
About 3, we think.
Gotcha.
Yeah. But man, she was such a good dog. She barked at everyone. She would bark at you.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people had some hesitation to sort of like pet her because she was barking at them. And you never showed any hesitation. You would sort of come right in with your hand and pet her. And I feel like she was just confused enough.
Yeah.
So that she would never, that was it. Like she wouldn't.
I'd sit at
growl.
that chair at your house, and Debbie would love to just be a part of that.
Yeah. So rest in peace, Debbie.
Debbie always, to me, had the energy of like a 49-year-old woman who had maybe just received some bad customer service.
Yeah. Her name was Debbie because when we found her, she looked like someone's aunt.
Yeah.
And like who like smoked still.
Maybe wore glasses with the chain.
Yeah. Which
Yeah.
Mackenzie actually bought me those chains when I started wearing glasses. And I was like, yeah, I'm not going to do this.
Not quite there yet, hun. Yeah.
But yeah, she was a great dog. And it was in a way having to go to Northwestern or having the opportunity to go was a good diversion from that we're still dealing with. But I was asked to speak to the graduates of the School of Communication at Northwestern at their convocation, and Mom and Dad hadn't been back to Evanston since I was a student. And once I got the speech written and I felt good about it, I sent it off to you and to our friend Peter Gross to get some notes. And once you guys were like, this is great, here are some ideas, I was like, all right, well, now I feel okay about it. And I reached out to Mom and Dad, who 20 minutes after I asked them had booked flights and a hotel. So they were in it to win it. And it was just great. It was great to be back on campus, great to be back there with them. We did go into the fraternity house, the Fiji house, and gosh, it just is so gross.
It's because Dad was speaking at length about how much nicer the campus is since the last time he's been there.
Yeah.
And the same is not true of our old fraternity house.
No.
The improvements have passed over.
Yeah. But the event itself, the convocation was it was very emotional. Like I got emotional when those graduates started receiving their diplomas. I got choked up. That's how we do.
Yeah.
And I was in the regalia, the robes. I wore a tam. It has all that pomp that comes along with it. And we're in the basketball stadium, and you sort of process in with behind the dean, and then this student, Shahzeb Shah, introduced me. He had won this competition. He had sent a video in, and he was so good. He sort of gave a barn burner of an intro to me that was just great and sort of set the table. And I was nervous, but once you're up there, it just sort of is going. And then afterwards, there was sort of this field house, this room where graduates could, see their parents, and I sort of made myself available to talk to any of them, talk to so many students, and just want the best for them. And I like to think that I gave them a good message to send them out on. And
I think Mom and Dad, the thing they most wanted to share with me when I talked to them after the thing was how nice that time after was, and how many students wanted to talk to you, how many parents wanted to talk to you, and how patient you were and generous you were with your time. So
yeah,
it was very nice to hear.
Steve Carell had spoken at the commencement, the big graduation last year, I want to say, which you could watch it on YouTube. It's great. He has a great sort of unexpected moment in that really went viral. And he was there because his son was graduating. So he was there with his wife, Nancy, and their daughter, but their son was graduating, and he was in a little box right next to where mom and dad were. So I hadn't seen him before I spoke, but afterwards I came up and he's like, hey, that was great. And we're talking very quickly, but I sort of wanted to see mom and dad. And then his son came in and I was like, well, you should talk to your son and I'm going to talk to my parents. And I liked not having to appear too thirsty in that moment to talk to Carell for longer. But he was very nice. His wife, Nancy, very,
lovely
very
people.
Sweet. Yeah.
Lovely people.
And then just got to spend the day with mom and dad. And it was such a release after doing something like that. So, yeah, it was great.
And then you guys, that's weird. I thought you guys had completely different days after. You did the same thing with dad after the next day?
What do you mean?
Like, did you, after your graduation, you and mom and dad, like, you basically stayed together and did the same stuff?
Yeah.
Oh, that's weird, because I told them that I had talked to you, and then they still told me everything they had done.
Oh, yeah. Well, it was very, like, you tried to...
I tried at length to talk to all of you, although... Maybe mom said that you, or I can't remember. You told me that I called, and dad's very good this way. Dad always says, I'm always going to answer the phone when you called. But I called, and you guys were in maybe a loud coffee shop having breakfast.
We were in a coffee shop that wasn't that loud, and I think you tried to FaceTime, and he wanted to answer.
And you correctly said, wait. Yeah.
Yeah. Because if anyone can ever hear sound coming out of your phone, you're doing it wrong.
You're doing it wrong. I think that's fair.
In a public place.
In a public place. But it was great.
Yeah.
They were, it was, and again, one of the things you talked about in your convocation, people obviously listening now don't know this, but you were not at your graduation because you left to do Boom Chicago, which we have discussed on this show many times in Amsterdam. A week before your graduation, they offered you a job and you had to take it. And so I got emotional thinking about the fact that it was the first time mom and dad got to see you at a graduation.
Yeah, I was so happy to sort of get the picture of me in the robes with mom and dad because I didn't have that.
Yeah.
And then as we were leaving, we had this great driver, Mohammed, the whole time, who made it so much easier to sort of get us from place to place. And lights out. This dude was amazing. But Mackenzie was with us, and she was like, I really want to get a picture of you and your parents under the arch, which is sort of the official entryway to campus. Yeah. And so, he drove to the Rock, which is this like very central in campus, which you can't drive there, but it was Sunday, so actual graduation was taking place. And on our way out, Mackenzie was like, I want this picture. And she made sure it happened, and Mohammed got us as close as he could, and then we got to walk in, and I've just got these great pictures of me and mom and dad under the arch.
They're very beautiful.
Yeah.
Very
nice.
It was
special weekend for sure, and thank you to Northwestern and to Dean Johnson, who asked me, and yeah, it was an honor.
It's great. The highlight for our weekend is Addie. 4 3/4, water skied.
Ooh, wow.
Yeah. Now, it is one of these, it's not 2 separate skis. It's like a water board.
Okay.
But, you put
I'll give it to her.
You put your feet in the way you'd want, or the way you would. And it was amazing. And we've tried so hard to make the boys do it, and they've never wanted to. And she saw another girl doing it, and she was like, yeah. No, I'm going to go do that right now. And she sang a little song about how she was a water skier. I'm going to show you a picture of...
Oh, my gosh. So happy.
She's just so happy.
Yeah.
And, so...
Great. Congrats to her. And
congrats to her.
Shame on your boys.
Shame. They did a rope. They did a rope into a lake. So I'm going to give them credit for doing that.
Yeah.
And, I've got Summer's coming up quick. You know where I'm going for the first time, Poshy? And I will report back on the podcast. I'm going to Cannes in France.
Yeah.
So I'll report back from Cannes and let you know.
Do you have a film at Cannes?
I am. I'm in the new Batman.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm Batman.
Looking forward to it.
I can't believe it's been the hardest secret to keep.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously from you especially, but I'm going to be the Batman in the new Batman. And it's not early press screenings, I would say, have been bad.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. They say Cannes is that's where you right that ship.
Yeah, 100%. They said, a lot of people said maybe French people will think you make a good Batman, but yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want me to do the line?
Yeah, please.
I'm Batman.
Oh. Even when you said it like a minute ago, it was better than that.
Yeah. Well, no, a minute ago I was telling you I'm Batman. That's
right,
the way I say it.
But the way you say it there is sort of more natural.
I think I got nervous just because it's a movie.
Yeah.
So like you try being Batman in a movie. I was nervous the whole time, and it comes across. They said it's too... They said it's way... Everybody's like, just Batman. Nobody likes a jittery Batman. And I'm like, well, too late. We already shot it. Anyway, check that out, Batman. Me and Batman this summer. And congrats on your convocation. And what episode is this?
This
Who's
is
about to talk.
Marla Mindelle.
Oh, my God. She's fantastic. From Titanique. Tony nominee. Great conversation. Enjoy, everybody.
Family trips with the Meyers brothers. Family trips with the Meyers brothers. Here we go.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
It's great to see you again. And I just want to jump right in. We are going to talk about family trips. How was your experience performing at the Tonys? You were fantastic.
Oh, thank you. I wish I could say I remembered any of it, but I was in a blackout the whole day.
I imagine it must be, I mean, again, despite it being a show that obviously you're doing every night and you've been doing for years at this point, can you just talk through how much more stressful it is when you're doing it at the Tonys?
Oh my God. Well, it's the biggest moment of your life. It's like the biggest day of your life. It's like your wedding. It's like a musical theater wedding, but you have to be up so early in the morning to tech the actual Tonys before the Tonys start. So I was up at 5 a.m. I didn't sleep at all. Then I get to the theater. Then I have to put on my costume. We bus to the Radio City. We do a dress rehearsal. Then we do a 1 p.m. matinee of Titanique. Then I have 90 minutes to get ready for the red carpet. And then, and then it all starts. So, I mean, it was like a full day experience. And I feel like I blacked out. I was in shock and I was so nervous.
But you couldn't tell it all. It's funny because you said it's like a wedding, but then of course there's so many other people also having their wedding that night, because I imagine you're not alone with the way you felt.
That was the only good thing about it, is that I was on a text chain with all the other female nominees, and it was called Broadway beta blockers, because you take beta blockers to relax yourself. And so a lot of the ladies were on it. And my solace was knowing that they were all going through the same thing that I was going through. We were all exhausted. By the end of the 2-month kind of campaign, where you're also doing 8 shows a week, you're on your last like nerve, limb, vocal, cord. And, but that being said, getting through it all, I feel like a superhero. I feel like now that I've done that, I can do anything.
And you have not done, we're talking on Tuesday morning, so you have not done Titanique since the Tonys, right? Tonight will be your first one?
Yes. And frankly, thank God, because I feel like after the Tonys, they should give everyone a week off and just be like, you got through it. Go to Turks and Caicos for a week, relax, see you in a week.
The fact that they didn't give you Sunday off probably is a good indicator of how little they considered that.
Exactly. It is a business after all. But you know what? Again, a lot of women most of them all had shows on at least ours was at 1 p.m. So I had 90 minutes to get ready. Do you think it will feel different tonight being on stage, knowing that sort of Tony, whatever gauntlet is over, that you just get to do your show again? I think so. I think I will feel like a bit of, I mean, certainly when all the voters had come and that had stopped, I felt like, oh, I can finally relax, even though it didn't really bother me. But now I feel like, oh, I have my days free. I mean, you go from, in the thick of it, you go from, and I'm sure you do this too, because of how busy you are with your life. It's like 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. and then you do a show. And the show is already so intense and you need sleep. And so you're just deprived of all of that for Tony season.
Congratulations, just in general, on your nominations, multiple, and also just the show itself is, again, this is one of those shows that kind of started in a tiny little space and has worked its way to Broadway. And I think every time it happens, it is just a reminder that producers should take big swings based on ideas that are really well-developed and funny and joyful. So congrats.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Is it also on the Tonys, is it kind of like, I mean, I guess you're performing live, so there's a difference. But when you go to a movie premiere or like a friends and family screening, is the vibe in the room incredibly supportive because it's the night to celebrate all of that? Like, is it just, I imagine the audience is over the moon to be there and to be watching all of these performers.
Yeah. Well, you know what? And I think that musical theater, our world is it's like such a microcosm. It's so insular. Everyone knows everyone. Mm-hmm. It's Kevin Bacon, 6 degrees of separation. You've worked with someone, you've been in the same show, and you've been doing it I've been doing it for now 20 years. So unfortunately, I know everyone. So it is so supportive and people are so happy to be there and to perform. I mean, it's a feat. And I think that, when you're a child, you dream, oh my God, I just want to be nominated for a Tony. I just want to perform. And then you get there and you're really, and for me, I was like, oh my God, like, I don't know if I could ever do this again because I could pass at any minute. But yeah, it was very supportive. And I was really lucky that my dad was my date. He was there with me and he's such a huge musical theater person himself. So it just really felt like truly a once in a lifetime moment.
Had you ever been in the room at the Tonys before? Had you gone as just an observer?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I've spent a long time on the Broadway. So I was in Sister Act 15 years ago. Yikes,
Gotcha.
and I got to perform, but I was never nominated before. So I was there for Sister Act, and I was also in Cinderella, which was also nominated a couple years. But it had been 12 years since I had done the Tonys, not only as a performer but also as a nominee. And that journey is crazy because you have to basically, sit down in your glamorous dress. And then they pull you and you got to change into your costume and then, then get changed out and then they have to make you glamorous all over again. So it's truly incredible how it all comes together. And I mean, I will say this, that like the opening number, Pink obviously was the host and was phenomenal. And the opening number had all of the shows. There were 170 people on stage and it looked incredible. So I don't know how they pulled that off. It's such a feat.
That's very cool. I know from sort of reading your history that your dad was sort of your first connection to this world. It's very, very cool that he was your date.
I know, but he gave me the sickness. He gave me the musical.
Oh, yeah.
I wish he was a brain surgeon or something like that. Or, maybe he wasn't. He is in finance, but just something a little bit more stable would have been great. But so my mother and father met doing musical theater. So they did a community production of 110 of the Shade in Phoenix, Arizona, and then they did Oliver together. And my father grew up as an aspiring composer and was a savant. He was accepted into the Juilliard School. He went to all these programs called ASCAP and BMI, which are very specific musical theater programs, which kind of churn out some of the most elite composers and lyricists and book writers in our field. And he had been writing shows and has done a ton of regional and off-Broadway shows, and it has always been his dream to get a show on Broadway. And I, listened to him composing growing up, show after show after show. And so it was really, I knew from a very early age, this is what I want to do. I was belting Tomorrow as young as 3 years old. And my dad was always like, she's got a vibrato. She's got a vibrato. And she's only 3. And so they were so supportive of me and always my champions. And so it was just decided at a very young age, this is it. This is all I will do. This is all I will ever do.
It's great. I mean, it's good to know. It's good to know at a young age. I sometimes feel like at least we had that going for us, that we all kind of decided.
But we didn't know anything. And now and then you start doing it and you're kind of like, oh gosh, like I could have done anything else. Like musical theater? Okay.
Did you have neighbors that lived so close that maybe they didn't love the vibrato as much as your father?
Well, thankfully, I grew up in Bucks County. I lived in a home. Now, I mean, I have paper thin walls. I feel so bad for whoever lives next to me. But you know what? They have dogs, and I can hear everything. So
There you
I'm
go.
like, it's give and take.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, we're going to take a quick break and hear from some of our sponsors. Support comes from Hero Bread. Hey, Bashi.
Hey, Sufi.
You know what? As we move into the summer, we are a big taco family in the summers. You know, it's just like, we put the fixins out and, we let the kids make their own tacos. And we're big fans of Hero Bread's Better For You tortillas. They also have Better For You sliced breads, noodles, and more. But for us, the tortillas are just fantastic.
Yeah. I got to say, we sometimes will run out of bread at home. But if you have Hero Bread, you can check your freezer and you might have some incredible loaves of bread, an incredible sleeve of bagels just waiting for you. And it's always like, why am I not doing this all the time? Anytime I have a nice slice of Hero Bread or one of their bagels in particular. We're big fans of the bagels over here, Suf.
And it's not just bread, you guys. Hero noodles, which have 32 grams of fiber, 12 grams of protein, and just 80 calories per serving, or the 2-gram net carb Hero tortillas, burrito size. You can load up on fillings and 11 grams of protein, 26 grams of fiber. Hero Bread is offering 10% off your order. Go to hero.co and use code TRIPS at checkout. That's TRIPS at HERO.co. Support comes from Fitbod. Hey, Bashi.
Hey, Sufi.
There are a lot of fitness influencers out there. They're trying to sell you less for more. Fitbod combines the workout planning and tracking you need to stay consistent and make progress.
Yeah. What's so nice about Fitbod is you can tell them what you've got in your own home gym or what you're working with. Maybe you're on the road and you only have, your own body weight to use, but they're going to tailor a specific workout routine for you. Also, if you've been working out, it's going to track that and it's going to tell you what muscles maybe need a break and what muscles you need to get some focus on.
And they're going to adapt. They're not just going to have one plan for you. As you get stronger, as you start going through positive changes, they're going to adapt with you. And this is all fine-tuned by experienced certified personal trainers to bring best practices and exercise science to you. Level up your workouts with customized fitness plans that work for you and over 1,000 demonstration videos.
Level up your workout. Join Fitbod today and get your personalized workout plan. Get 25% off your subscription or to try the app free for 7 days at fitbod.me/trip. That's fitbod.me/trip.
You're in Pennsylvania, Eastern Pennsylvania.
Yes.
And so how long it seems like you would come into New York to see theater. Like, what was that drive or train, or how long did it take you?
Well, my father would always take me into the city. We would go to this place called Sam's, which no longer exists. But to me, it felt like, fine quality dining, but really I just got sesame chicken fingers at 8 years old and would see a Broadway show. And to me, that was like the most luxurious experience of my lifetime. And then I went to school and I majored for musical theater at this place called Cincinnati College Conservatory. And it's basically a musical theater factory. It turns out people that, just go right onto Broadway. And it took me a second. But I would say after about 3 years of hustling and auditioning and working at Ellen's Stardust Diner, a singing diner in Times Square, right near Rockefeller Center, I finally booked South Pacific at like 25 or 26. And then I did 10 years back to back of Broadway shows, 10 years. And it was incredible, but also I think I realized, and I don't know if this has happened for the two of you, but I realized that there were dreams beyond just theater. And it was only when I was doing it consistently and actually very successful in it that I thought to myself, there has to be something else. There has to be something more than this. I could do this for the rest of my life, but I don't think I'll ever grow as a human being. And that was it was a really weird thing because it was all I ever wanted. And then when I was doing it, I was like, I want something different. I want something more.
Yeah.
And so how did that manifest itself? Like, what adjustment did you make when you had that conclusion?
The adjustment was I gave it all up and I moved to Los Angeles. After 10 years of doing theater back to back, I had realized in my 20s that I wanted to be a writer and I wanted to have some sort of authority over my career because in musical theater, you are plugged into kind of a cog and you're doing the same thing over and over and over again. And I realized that I just wanted to do something different. I wanted to have a lifestyle that wasn't 8 shows a week and no holidays and no weekends. Not that Broadway isn't incredible. It is. But I just thought, I could do this forever. And I feel like I would be in a kind of a vortex or a cycle every single day. So I gave everything up at 30 and I moved to LA thinking it would be so easy for me to be a TV writer and be staffed on a show and develop shows. And I went on that cycle, and let me tell you, it is so much harder than being an actor because I was getting things up a hill. I was pitching shows. I was being interviewed as staff on shows, and everything fell apart. Everything.
Yeah.
I couldn't sell a show. I couldn't get staffed. And I just was in development hell on TV shows and movies year after year after year. And something would get so close and then fall apart. Yeah. And then in the midst of that, I lose all my money that I saved up from New York. I, lose my friends. I lose my connections in New York. I lost my home in LA at one point. Like I went from literally, Broadway to bust in LA for a decade. And that's where Titanique was ironically born and bred, was at my lowest point.
But, it does come, right? Like writing does like sort of bring you back. So it's an interesting journey that you have a hand in your own success with the help of a pen, because you sort of developed this like incredibly unique show. For those who haven't seen it, it's basically, I don't want to say it in a way that seems ham-fisted, but it's safe to say it's a retelling of the Titanic story from Celine Dion's perspective.
Correct.
Using her songs. You are just hilarious.
Thank you.
In the lead role, and it must have been so fun as you were developing it, knowing you were coming up with a part that was perfect for you.
Well, thank you. It took a lot of work So I lost everything. I wound up working in a dinner theater in Los Angeles. I mean, talk about Broadway to bust. It was like $75 a show at this dinner theater, and they gave you a group meal. So I got fed at least with like a disgusting fish, and they would give you a drink ticket after the show. So that was my payment.
Oh, score.
Basically food, 1 glass of Sauvignon Blanc, and $75. And this dinner theater was where it was kind of, similar to UCB, honestly.
Right.
It was a very insular world of like musical theater expats that were all in LA, that had all come to LA to make it after, kind of succeeding in musical theater, but wanting more and realizing that LA was so much harder. And we were doing these movie to musical parodies like Scream and Devil Wears Prada, where you were kind of matching an iconic movie with a discography that made sense to the movie. So for Devil Wears Prada, it was all 90s music. For Scream, it was all like kind of horror, kind of campy horror songs. And so I'll never forget, drunk one night on my glass of Sauvignon Blanc, and Connie Rassouli, the co-writer of Titanique, said, what if we did Titanic with all Celine Dion songs? Because she famously did My Heart Will Go On.
Yeah,
sure did.
And at the time I was like, yeah, right. I was like, that'll never happen. I was so jaded and so bitter by writing in LA that the last thing that I wanted to do was write something else for free. And I was like, no fucking way. Also, I don't want to play Celine Dion because I love her too much, and I don't want to ruin her. So we slept on the idea for 2 years, and he kept being like, we really should do this. Like, what about Titanique with all Celine Dion songs? And I was like, no. And finally, 2 years later, Ty Blue, the director of Titanique, was like, we have to do this. We need to stop talking about it. Marla, stop being so fucking stubborn. Let's do it. And so every week, it was kind of like a sketch comedy team, I would imagine. Yeah. We would meet at Connie's WeHo apartment with a movie theater inside of it. We would meet in the movie theater where we watched the movie, and we started just writing it for fun.
So fun. Really.
Yeah. That's how that started.
All right. So when you have 2 siblings?
I have 2 younger sisters, yes.
Okay, gotcha. And then how much younger than you are they?
I am one is 3.5 years younger and one is 8 years younger. Now, I'm the oldest, but they treat me like I am the youngest. They treat me like I am an invalid.
So they're not in musical theater, maybe?
No. So my middle sister, Lisa, she did go to the same college. She went to CCM as well, and then very quickly realized that she was way too smart for this business. And she's now the owner of she's a financial advisor and owns her own company in Beverly Hills.
Oh my God.
And Olivia, the youngest, famously never wanted anything to do with it, which honestly I love. So I'm the only one that still does it. And I think it's probably because it's such a transient kind of bizarre business. That's probably why they treat me like I'm the youngest, because like I never know when my next job is going to be, and they always have consistent jobs.
And what were your when you guys were all young? I mean, 8 years is a pretty big gap, but were you guys close as sisters?
Lisa and I hated each other. I tormented her. I don't know what your relationship was like, but I tormented Lisa.
Pretty good. Yeah.
I was awful to her. We would get in fights. Like, my parents could not take us anywhere because we would get in screaming matches. Like, we famously were mortal enemies. And then something shifted around high school where we became really, really close. And Olivia and I, there's an 8-year difference. So I was already gone by the time that she was, young enough to, or old enough to even remember me.
And so your upbringing, were you guys the kind of family, did you go places? Do you remember any trips where it was all 5 of you?
We didn't, you know what? We're not an adventurous family. Like, my father is also, like, my father's a child, love him to death, but, like, you have to treat him like a child. And so, we weren't hiking or doing anything like that. We went to Disney World when I was 20 years old, and that was, like, the biggest thing that we had done together. And we went, to Maine, but we were never, like, traveling across the seas. And I think a part of the reason is that my father was an aspiring composer at the time. And so that was really our lives. Our lives were focused around his projects, which were all very specific to New York. And so, I feel like later in life now that Titanique has gone all over the world, it's been really interesting. We have been traveling a lot more as a family for this once in a lifetime kind of thing. But when I was a child, no, we really, we did a little bit, but we weren't going to the Grand Canyon and going down the canyon and going back up. Like, there are families that do that kind of stuff, and I'm like, I don't even know what that's like.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know how to pitch a tent or anything like that, and you couldn't pay me to do it.
So what were you doing in Maine? Like, what was the draw for Maine? It is vacation land, so
yeah. We would go to Long Beach Island with my uncle and aunt and my cousins. So that was like a big thing. We would go to LBI. We would go to Love Ladies, which was like the fancy part of Long Beach Island. And I remember that being like a big thing. We would have this huge house for a week and we would just play on the beach every single day. And the same with Maine. A lot of it was like trips with my uncle and aunt and cousins as well. And, we were all around the same age. So I can't even imagine. Now all my cousins have children and there's like 10 kids running around at family events. And I'm like, God, I don't know how my parents did that.
Yeah.
Were your aunts and uncles, did they also live in Bucks County? Were they nearby, you guys?
They were nearby. They were in Elkins Park, Pennsylvania. And now they've all moved to around the DC area. But yeah, we were all nearby. My grandfather was nearby. He was about like a 5-minute drive. So there was one point where, I had a huge family. I had cousins and second cousins, and we would all kind of congregate in these big kind of family trips on the beach. That was really like specific to our family, because it's probably the only thing that we could really do is all come together and like go rot on a beach. Like anything beyond that was probably too much for us.
Was it your mom's side or dad's side?
My dad's side.
Okay,
my dad's side. Yeah. And so now his side, like my uncle and his children, they're all doctors, and like they all have stable jobs and stable lives. But my family we're all the artists, and so very, very different lifestyles. Very different.
Yeah. Do you think they look askance at your family, your nuclear family?
Maybe they did. I mean, thank God. I don't think that they could.
Thank God you just performed at the Tonys.
Yeah, exactly,
and they can
exactly.
eat it.
I don't think that they understand now. I think that everyone, it's very funny when you're on the Tonys, it becomes this is your life. And so like every ex-boyfriend, ex-girlfriend from like 20 years ago, family, people from my high school, everyone's coming out of the woodwork. And that's been really special.
Yeah.
And also, I don't know if this happened for you, but like I also imagine that you were incredibly talented for a high schooler, and that they all saw in you somebody who this should happen for. They must all be so proud on your behalf.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I was, in high school and college, it was really like, for me, it was Broadway or bust, and it was all I trained for. So, but, it's so interesting that I did it in my 20s, and then I literally left it all in my 30s. And I was like, I don't want anything to do with this. I don't want anything to do with musical theater. It's too hard for me. I don't want to be on stage 8 times a week. It's very ironic that I went to LA to pursue writing, but I'm actually back in New York doing the thing that I originally loved, which is weird. Yeah.
They were like, you can't shake us. They were like, you can't shake us.
Exactly.
When you took those beach vacations, if you're on the beach, are you guys gamers? Or you just sort of lay around and get tanners? What's your
definitely not get tanners? I mean, look at me. I'm white. I'm white as a ghost.
Yeah.
We were We were not game. We would just kind of lie around. You know what's so interesting is when I was a child, I actually hated the beach too. I was like, why do people do this? Like, this is
Yeah,
so.
I
you just
still
lie
feel that
here?
way. I still feel
You still
that
feel
way.
that way?
Yeah.
Something switched for
Oh,
me.
so you like it now?
I love it.
Oh, that's
If I
great.
don't get to a beach every 6 months, I feel like I will spontaneously combust.
That's great. And so we've established that you're not doing anything active. Are you a beach reader? Is that something you will do?
Beach, yeah, I'm a beach reader. I'm honestly a beach rotter. Like I want to go. I will go into the ocean. I go to an island every 6 months, and I want to be in a hot body of water, and I literally want to lie there like Jesus Christ for hours in the ocean.
Yeah.
Like I don't. If a shark eats me, so be it. I don't care. I think that the ocean is healing and restorative, and so yeah, like I have a club with my two friends. We're called Island Girls, and every 6 months we try to go to a different tropical island.
Now, do you have any desire to like snorkel or scuba, or you just want to be looking up at the sun?
I snorkel. Yes. You know, once you start doing it on every island, you're like, should I go to an island and snorkel again? So I've done a lot of the adventurous things. I've become way more adventurous now than I was as a child.
Yeah.
And so I've snorkeled, I've scuba'd, I've zip lined, like I've done all of it. I've parasailed and I love it. I've jet
Okay.
skied.
So you've parasailed multiple times, and you would do it again?
Only once.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel very strongly that's a one-time for everybody thing.
Yes, a one-time thing. But
I'm still at 0. I don't.
Oh,
yeah.
really?
I believe I'm at 0. Yeah.
I feel like
can't
that's weird that you didn't do it on the day I did it.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't recall it if we did it. Maybe
You're
I'd
very.
completely-
I think the minute you get up on a parasail, you're like, okay, this is a little bit of a
That's
scam.
how I felt with a zip line too. I was like,
Yeah.
this is how I'm going to die.
Josh
Yeah.
almost did.
I did.
Really?
I fell out of a zip line in Mexico and broke my leg and my back and my jaw. So if you're in Zihuatanejo, between Zihuatanejo and Ixtapa, maybe skip that
If
ropes
you
course.
Thank God I missed that one.
discount, if you see the discount zipline course
Yeah.
that my frugal brother decided to do.
Hard pass.
I'm so sorry to hear that. Well, it
Yeah,
makes
it's okay.
You'll never parasail or never
zip line
do that
again.
ever again. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you never quite know. Thankfully, I've been lucky and blessed. But you get up there and you're like, well, this could be it.
Yeah.
You mentioned the travel for Titanique. What was that you performing it all over the world? Was this something that happened sort of between off Broadway and Broadway?
Yeah, so we had a really interesting trajectory. We started at old UCB,
Yeah.
which is now famously demolished. And
Right. This
actually-
is the one under Gristedes?
Under
That
Mercedes,
yeah,
yeah.
that's incredible.
Yeah. So it was not UCB when we started. It was called the Asylum.
Oh wow.
And it really was an asylum. It was
Yeah.
like, kind of an insane asylum where it was, they were still doing musicals and then live comedy. So we would have to pack up the set in my dressing room.
Right.
And at the same time, they're buying the building and they're going to condemn the building. So first they shut down Gristedes. So all the rats from Gristedes
Yeah.
come down to the basement.
Mhm.
And they're all running around the set, and then the trash juice from Gristedes, because obviously, like, they're getting rid of stuff, and it's all just, I guess, fermenting up there, was leaking on us while I'm performing. And anyway, but the show becomes a huge hit in Gristedes. We then move to the Daryl Roth, which is where Fuerza Bruta used to be,
Mhm.
and we lived there for about 3 years.
How many seats is that?
So that's about 250 seats.
Okay,
And the
so
asylum was 199.
Okay,
So,
great.
I mean, it was tiny, but
So you upgrade. It's a
Upgrade.
nicer theater. There's no juice. There's less rats.
juice, less
there's
rats.
no
Yeah.
physical structure in New York that has 0 rats.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
There were
no
less
Jews.
rats.
There were
Yeah.
probably Jews to see this.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. A lot of Jews, no
A lot
Jews.
of supporting theater. Yes, of
Yeah,
course.
exactly. And then from there, we start going all over the world. And so that was really interesting because typically it's the opposite. You go to Broadway, then you go all over the world. You
Sure.
go on national tour. So we started in Sydney, Australia. Then we went to Paris, Canada. I'm missing Chicago. We went to Brazil.
And what was the longest run you would do in one of those places?
Well, I actually didn't do it.
Okay,
London.
gotcha.
We also went to London, LOL,
Okay.
and we're still in London right now. So basically, that was interesting for a multitude of reasons. So all these countries have their own version of their
I
great
see.
musical theater star. Yeah.
Gotcha.
And so like when we went to Brazil, they were like, we have the Patti LuPone of Brazil. And she's got like so many followers and she's so huge. But, you know, obviously we don't know her because we are in a different country. It's so fascinating. So yeah, so in all of those other countries, they had their own version. So I would show up on opening night and it was actually amazing. I would show up on opening night and be there and watch the show and it would be so surreal. And then I would get to explore the country.
Oh,
for
wow.
like a week or so. So yeah, so I've gotten to go to all these places and like and see the world.
How exciting is it when you watch something that was so specifically written for sort of a New York audience when it works in another country? Is it just like goosebumps inducing?
Yeah, I'm kind of like, wow. I'm like, are we geniuses? Like, this is crazy because you never know how something is going to land. It's
of course.
Like something can be successful in New York, but it can't be successful, or it's specific to New Yorkers. And that's originally what we thought Titanique was going to be, is like it's a small kind of weird idea. And what I learned is that the comedy that we've written is universal and the laughter is universal. And so I went to go see it in Brazil, and it was in Portuguese, and it was the first ever time that it was in a different language. And I could still hear the laughter on the same jokes that we had written, you know, even though I didn't understand their language, I could still, I know the script so well that I was like, wow, they're still laughing in all the places that they were laughing in New York and London and Paris. Yeah. So that has been truly special. And you know, what's been great about it too, is that there are very specific regional jokes to Titanique. Like we make a huge bit out of Jared's, the jewelry company here. And so that's different. So in London, it's Costco, and in Brazil, it's something else. And in Paris, it's something else. And so, you know, we have to update every time they do a new production of it. We have to approve all these new kind of regional specific jokes.
And so they take the first pass on the regional specificity, and then they sort of talk it down with you, and like, this is what we think this is. That's great.
Yeah. So we have to like approve every script. So it's going to the Netherlands in October. So yeah, every time it goes somewhere, and now it's going into Montreal again in French. So we have to basically look at their translation and then the back translation, which is very fascinating because you'll read something and it's like, it makes sense in their language. And then you read the back translation and it's a completely different scansion. It's so bizarre and you just got to trust it.
Hey, we're going to take a quick break and hear from some of our sponsors.
Support comes from ButcherBox. A grilling season is finally here. It's finally here. The summer's here. We're grilling. But let's be honest, the difference between a good cookout and a great one comes down to the quality of your meat. You can have the best grill setup in the world, but if what you're cooking isn't great, it shows. It shows in the gray, soft burgers. That's why I've been using ButcherBox. They deliver premium, responsibly sourced meat right to your door. So you're starting with the good stuff every time. ButcherBox delivers over 100 premium protein options straight to your door, from grass-fed beef to wild-caught seafood. It's all raised and sourced the right way. No antibiotics, no added hormones, no fillers, just clean, reliable protein you can feel good serving. As an exclusive offer, new listeners can get their choice between free ribeye or top sirloins for a year, or ground beef and bacon for a year, plus $20 off when you go to butcherbox.com/trips. Let me just say, their bacon is exceptional. Half the time we're doing it for breakfast. Half the time we're doing BLTs on a Saturday afternoon. You cannot go wrong with the ButcherBox bacon. That's right. Your choice of ribeye or top sirloins for a year, or ground beef and bacon for a year, plus $20 off your first box and free shipping always. That's butcherbox.com/trips. Don't forget to use our link so they know we sent you. Support comes from Rula. Hey, Bashi.
Hey, Sufi.
I mean, you and I both had times in our life where a therapist comes in handy. It's nice to have a professional you can talk to. You know, maybe during times of professional unrest, maybe times where your interpersonal relationships are getting off track. Finding a therapist is hard enough, but finding one who actually takes your insurance, that's where most online therapy platforms fall short. Many don't work with insurance at all, which means you're stuck paying the full cost out of pocket or paying for an expensive monthly subscription. Rula, thankfully, does things differently.
They sure do. They partner with over 100 insurance plans, making the average copay just $15 per session. That's real therapy from licensed professionals at a price that actually makes sense. Think about it. You use your insurance benefits to maintain your physical health, so why wouldn't you do the same for your mental health?
And Rula isn't just affordable. The experience is tailored around you. Other online therapy platforms might match you with the first available provider, whether or not they're the right fit. Rula considers your goals, your preferences, background to provide you a curated list of licensed in-network therapists who are actually aligned with what you need.
Go to Rula.com/trips to get started today. That's RULA.com/trips for quality therapy that's covered by your insurance. Thousands of people are already using Rula to get affordable, high-quality therapy that's actually covered by insurance. Visit Rula.com/trips to get started. That's RULA.com/trips. You deserve mental health care that works with you, not against your budget.
Here we go.
What of all the places you went and then traveled thanks to Titanique playing there, what was your favorite vacation you got out of it?
I absolutely adored Paris. It was so stunning, and the theater was stunning. And I'd never been to London before, which is crazy to say. That feels like criminal. And I just loved London and Paris, but they've all been so special. Like, I never thought I would have gone to Sao Paulo. And the cast is taking us around and taking us to Soho House in Sao Paulo. And it's just been such an incredible experience because you get to meet the cast as well. And then they take you, or they recommend all the great places. So it's like you're really getting to see it like as a local too. So it's been phenomenal everywhere we go. And I try to go to every country because I just know that, like, one of the things that's great about it is that they fly me out and they have to put me up in a hotel for a couple of days. And so I get like a little bit of a free trip.
Yeah,
and so
you can't turn it down.
I don't want to turn it down. I really don't.
Have you ever had to sort of have an understudy play your part because you were traveling for a show, or was that this? You have not. On Broadway, I assume you would not leave to travel while you're doing the show.
It's opening. I think the Montreal production is opening today or tomorrow, and I really wanted to go, but it was right after Tony's.
Yeah.
But I do have understudies. Have I traveled to? No, I think I've been lucky enough that our show has been closed when I've traveled to see a different iteration of Titanique. But if it came up, like if we're still playing in the fall and Amsterdam happens, the opening of Titanique in Amsterdam happens, I definitely want to go to that.
I wonder what theater is playing.
If I'm not going to go to a beach, like I'm going to go to Amsterdam. Sorry.
Yeah. No. Have you? I mean, it sounds so decadent. I know that like you're a performer and you want to perform, but to be able to go somewhere and just see a show that you created and then be cut free is like, we've talked to so many people whose families have traveled with them when they're shooting something or when they're doing a show somewhere, but then that person then has to do a show while their family's there, and you have to find off time to go away, but it sounds like you have off time after night number 1. So has your family come with you on these trips? Have you?
Yes. And that's big because my mother famously, my mother is the kind, I don't know what your mother's like, but if the flight is at 5 p.m. on a Thursday, she'll show up 72 hours in advance. And like, you know what I mean? Like, she's so stressed the whole time. She can't sleep. So getting her out of the country is like a victory. And she also has to deal with my dad, who I love, but he's, again, like a child and like slightly deaf. So it's like putting we need a leash for my dad because he can't really hear anything. But my dad was like, this is so, they weren't going to go to Paris. They came to London to see the opening at the Criterion, which was incredible because it was a statue of me, a 20-foot statue of me. I look like Jesus Christ above Piccadilly Circus. And then they weren't going to go to Paris. And my dad was like, it's too special. Rita, my mom, was like, we have to go. And this is like, it's like a wedding. So, and we haven't really traveled all that much in our lifetime. So like, let's do this and let's go spend time. And it's incredible because my grandmother was Belgian. So my dad knows French. So when we were there in Paris, he was speaking to everyone and could translate for us. And so that just felt so special. So it does feel incredible to not have to have the pressure of doing the show. When you are doing a show, it is 8 times a week. It is... You are an Olympian. It is, and the older I get, the harder it gets. It's exhausting.
Yeah.
The whole day you're worried about, oh, do I have the voice for it? Oh, I have a cold. Oh, what's the weather like? There's so much stress about getting there and giving your all. And for Titanique and singing Celine Dion songs, there is no such thing as 75%. There is no such thing as marking. I have to be 150% and my voice has to be phenomenal. So I love going to a different country and just watching it and then being released to do whatever the hell I want. And doing it with my family is even more special.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Any favorite spots or experiences that you've done with your family on any of these trips? Sort of a specific in Paris or anywhere in the world, really?
Well, with my my family we're such foodies.
Mm-hmm.
So we went so on Belly Eats, like on Belly Eats, the number one rated restaurant in the entire world was in Paris, and it was called La Renommée, which is a very, very fancy restaurant. And so I made sure that on the first day that we were there in Paris, that we had a nice meal, because my family loves a good meal.
Yeah.
And it was incredible. And it felt so special. And we were just there and we cheers to the show. And so that felt really great. But then also, we were walking around the La Marais district, and just to be there with them and going to see museums together. I feel, especially as I get older and my parents get older, and I realize that, that there's, hopefully many more years left, but there also could not be.
Right.
It just feels so special to be able to travel with my parents.
Yeah.
It's very, very cool.
Yeah.
I am glad to hear it was good. Sometimes I think if you go to like one of those top rated fancy restaurants, they can be a little too fancy.
I know. No,
but this was a great
perfect.
meal. Okay, good.
This one was perfect. The same people have the restaurant for Charles Prime here. I don't know if you've been.
Oh, yeah.
And it's impossible to get in. So I'm at least glad.
I immediately changed my tune. I know. Perfect.
Yeah. So it was the same thing. Yeah. And then, obviously being at the theater, the theater there is called the Lido. And why the Lido is so special is because they have a water fountain. They have a whole water feature in the theater itself. So when we went to go see Titanique and the Celine Dion there starts singing My Heart Will Go On, there was like a Disney like water fountain behind her. And I was like, this is so fucking trippy. I was like, what theater has like water coming out from the floor like that? Anyway, that was really special.
In terms of touring shows, a lot of shows like, Second City famously would do cruise ships. Now, Titanique would be both a perfect fit and the worst possible fit for a cruise ship. Has it ever been performed on a ship, or is it?
No, but I'm waiting. And if anyone's watching this that works for Norwegian Cruise Lines or Princess Cruise, call me.
Yeah.
It's one of those things. I feel like you should. I mean, it's not like the secret's out on what happened on the Titanic. If people are getting on a cruise, you know what I mean? Like, they know it can happen.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. I think it would be very funny either way.
Do you, when you were young and you would go to New York to see Broadway shows, was it always just you and your dad, or did your sister come? Did your mom come?
Yeah, sometimes the whole family would come, but my dad made it like a special thing for, he would take me, or he would take Lisa, my middle sister. They went to go see Big. But we saw, he was taking me to see things like very obscure, like Big River as early as 3 years old. And I was dead silent. I would like be so silent. I would just be transfixed. And we saw Most Happy Fella together, and I remember just weeping. I remember having these spiritual experiences, and I thought it was so special to be doing it with my dad. And we would always go to Sam's, and I would get sesame chicken fingers, which felt like, a ribeye to me, but it was probably like shitty chicken fingers.
That's still my ribeye? Chicken fingers is still my ribeye.
Yeah. Seth is chicken fingers is almost his middle name.
Oh, really? Me too.
Yeah.
That's all I ate as a child.
Do you know that they claim, this is a question for Josh now, that chicken fingers were invented in Manchester, New Hampshire? Which is like
at the Puritan backroom?
I guess so.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Really?
I did not know we grew up in the cradle of chicken fingers. I just came by it naturally.
Did you also know that chickens don't have fingers necessarily? The way that we think about
this is like you basically just told me like the Earth is flat.
Yeah,
get out of Dodge. They wouldn't call them chicken fingers if they didn't have fingers.
Would on your Disney trip were you? I mean, I sort of naturally think there's a connection between musical theater and Disney. Oh. Were you a Disney kid?
No, actually. That's why I found it so funny that yes, but I wasn't like a Disney World. Like, you know how there are Disney World fanatics?
Yeah.
I wasn't that, but I saw Little Mermaid in the theater 6 times.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I would stop. Yeah. So I grew up on all of those songs and all of those movies. But, in terms of like going to Disney World, like that was really foreign. And my family, listen, I love them to death, but you know what it's like going on any sort of trip with your family. You have 72 hours with them before one of you gets out a bazooka gun and tries to take the other down.
Yeah.
And that was at the beach trips too. There was one moment in time where my sister Lisa called me. She kept screaming "sand penis" over and over again because I got sand trapped in my bathing suit, and it made me look like I had a penis. And I chased her down on the beach, and I tried to strangle her.
Yeah.
And it was like, that's crazy. I tried to kill my own sister in Long Beach Island. So that's what the dynamics of my family. We're just all loud Jews.
I will say, I've got 3 kids. If one of them said "sand penis," I think there'd be a strangling as well.
Oh yeah,
they're at the age where that's just triggering.
Yeah, it was a trigger word.
Yeah,
that's
not. It's not okay.
Yeah,
you can't
TW
talk like
sand
that.
penis.
Yeah.
And Disney for the first time, you said you were 20 when you went?
Yeah, I was 20. Yeah.
So that's like also a sort of strange time to be at a place also with a 12-year-old sister.
I know.
At the time. So were you going into that eyes wide open, excited, or were you a bit sort of a jaded 20-year-old, like this is for kids?
No, it was. You know what? I remember that my family. We actually, obviously we spat here and there, but we did really well. We had a really good time. I'll never forget. We went to a photo booth together, and we all took funny. Just remember laughing a lot with my family, and we're all such comedians, and we all kind of tease each other and have such self-deprecating senses of humor. I credit a lot of my own humor to how my family kind of interacts with each other, and I think that humor was then translated into Titanique. So I remember that trip very fondly. I remember it a lot more fondly than trying to strangle my sister on the beach.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Where did you stay at Disney? Were you at a Disney hotel?
God. One of the Disney hotels. Ironically, I had gone 2 years later. So it was, in my 20s when Hurricane Katrina happened. I was supposed to go with my friends, and because of Hurricane Katrina, there was no one in the parks. It was like an apocalyptic park. And I remember I haven't been back to Disney since because I went on every ride twice. It was like the park was at my disposal, and I was like, well, it's never going to get better than this.
Right.
So I haven't been back since.
Yeah.
What was it with the first time your family members saw Titanic? Was it in the UCB space? Was it at the asylum?
No, it was actually, Titanic started in Los Angeles.
Oh.
So we were playing so we were doing a lot of pop-up readings in Los Angeles at the Dynasty Typewriter, which is a very famous kind of place. And the Wallace Annenberg, which is a theater in Beverly Hills. And an 100-degree dance studio where Abby Lee Miller would do her dance studios. I mean, it was like, we didn't have any money. So it started in these, kind of, I would say, groundlings or UCB type fashion where you kind of put everything on a credit card. I bought a wig on Hollywood Boulevard. Connie was making props from Michael's, and we would do these one-offs and kind of gain this cult following. So it wasn't until we went to New York and we did a week-long presentation or readings at this place called Green Room 42, which is a kind of a theatrical space where you can put on readings or concerts. That's where we attracted producers. That's where people started being like, oh my God, this is really legitimate. But we had spent, 2 to 3 years developing it in LA prior, which was crazy. Yeah. But my family came and, my father, who obviously writes for a living and he knows the craft of theater, and the biggest indicator is the audience. You could think that you've written the funniest line or the best song in the world, and if the audience is dead, it's like SNL. It's the same exact thing. If they're not reacting, then sorry, it's not good enough.
Right.
So my dad, when he was there, he was like, I've never heard laughter like this before of any show in my life. And that's how I feel too, performing it in 8 times a week. I've never been a part of a Broadway show. I've never seen a Broadway show where people are laughing harder than at Titanique.
That's great.
What
an accomplishment.
Yeah, thanks.
Congrats on everything.
Thank you.
Before we let you go, though, Josh is going to hit you with our speed round.
Oh, God. I'm scared, Josh.
Okay. No, you'll do well.
You're going to do well. We can tell.
Okay.
Is your ideal vacation relaxing, adventurous, or educational?
Relaxing.
I think we all knew that based on what you've told us.
Yeah, easy. Yeah.
If you could take a vacation with any family, alive or dead, real or fictional, other than your own family, what family would you like to take a vacation with?
The Sopranos.
Great.
Because you know what? Someone would actually die.
Yeah, they would. If you told Tony he had a sand penis, somebody's going down.
You know what, Tony? I don't like this hotel room. Get me a better one.
Yeah.
It would happen. We get a suite.
What is your favorite means of transportation?
Means of transportation? Oh my God. Well, I don't know. I guess not. I first class. LOL, first class. Why
Well,
not?
that's pretty nice.
I've started doing that. Yeah, they have to fly me first class, and I'm like, now that I've had this, I can never go back.
Nope.
Yeah.
Very hard. Very hard to go back.
Yeah.
If you had to be stranded on a desert island with one member of your family, who would it be?
My sister Lisa. My sister Lisa, the financial advisor.
Gotcha.
She'd have money tucked away, and she's also very resourcul.
That's
Great.
great.
Unfortunately, my father would be last on the list. He would,
Yeah.
he would get us killed.
Well, he's a child. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's a child.
They're
You can't
not
have you
helpful.
can't have an old child on a beach on an island.
Yes, exactly.
You are from. What is your dream destination for a family vacation?
Oh, well, I'll just speak for myself. Like, I'm an island girly, and I want to go to Bora Bora. I want to be
Right.
one of those huts,
Yep.
one of those $10,000 Marriott huts where you just jump into the ocean.
Yeah,
I
they
know
look
the type.
nice.
I know
Yeah.
the huts, and good choice.
You are from Yardley, Pennsylvania. Is that correct?
Pennsylvania. Yes.
If you were the head of the board of tourism at Yardley and had to get more families to come visit your town, how would you pitch that town?
How would I pitch Yardley, Pennsylvania?
Yeah.
We've got the best fire hydrant in town. We got the best fire. Oh, you know what? We have the best bakery. We have the best bakery in town, Kramer's Bakery.
All right.
Yeah. Because I'm, again, such a foodie person. You got to come. You got to try the cupcakes. But also, what's her face? Gigi Hadid.
Okay.
Her mother lives famously in Yardley.
Oh, great.
So if we have the Hadids, we can get anyone.
Real quick, tell me a little bit more about this fire hydrant.
And now we have one strip in downtown Yardley. It's one tiny little strip, but it's so quaint. And there's a beautiful fire company. And because it's so funny. I live in New York. I live 90 minutes away from Yardley, but it's the most beautiful. I spent time there in the pandemic, and I was I wanted to get out of here when I lived here as a child, but I would go back. I want to buy my parents' home. That would be ideal. And then I can have that as a second home. It's just the most charming, quaint, colonial town. And there's just one tiny little strip where all the food is questionable, but it looks so cute.
Yeah. Do you think your parents would give you a good deal on that house, or would they rake you over? Yeah.
No, honestly, they've given me so much that I would love to buy it over asking and be like, "Here's $2 million for your home."
Also, now go live somewhere else because
get
I
out.
live here now.
Yeah, get out. It's mine now.
Seth, those are our final questions.
I know the answer based on what you said earlier, which was, have you been to the Grand Canyon? And it's definitely a no.
No, we actually did go to the Grand Canyon.
Okay, great.
But we visited. We just looked.
Okay,
Like,
gotcha.
I feel like there are families that do that trek where you go all the way down and down all the way up.
You just did a look.
Yeah, we just did a look.
Was
die.
the look worth it?
It was worth it, and
Okay,
so
great.
worth it that I think to myself, God, I really need to get back there.
Okay, great.
All right.
Yeah.
All right,
There
that
we
was
go.
not an unexpected answer.
Thank you.
What a cool time to get to talk to you, Marla.
Likewise.
And
Thank you so much.
congratulations. And break a leg tonight. Your first
Thank
time
you.
back on stage.
I need it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Enjoy.
Congrats. Great to meet you.
Good to meet you. Thank you
Have
so
a good
much.
one. See you soon.
Bye.
Family trips with the Meyers brothers.